Hi everyone, this is Peter here. Today I'll be showing you a selection of macros I captured with a new setup. Up until a few weeks ago, I have been primarily using my Canon 100mm macro with the Raynox DCI 250 or the Laowa 25mm ultra macro for very small subjects. But ever since I got the close-up lens kits from Nisi, I've been super happy with the results and the overall image quality. If you'd like to check out my in-depth reviews of both the 58 and 77mm kit, then you will find links in the description, and you'll also be able to click on them right at the end of this video. So my setup has been the good old trusted Canon 80D, which is an APS-C body, along with the Canon 100mm macro lens and the 58mm close-up lens from Nisi, which has 5 diopters, which essentially doubles the base magnification of 1:1. The speed light I used was the Canon EX2 RT, and for diffusion I use my usual reflector diffuser kit. Once again, you will find links to all the gear that I've been using in the description. What I really love about this setup, besides the exceptional image quality, is the flexibility that it provides in terms of working distance. When you use the maximum magnification, the working distance is still relatively long compared to an ultra macro lens, and by turning the focusing ring to infinity, this working distance increases substantially, so you can also capture your subjects in their environment, and it makes approaching really skittish insects that much easier, for example. Anyway, let's have a look at the shots I captured around the house, and I will briefly talk about each subject as well. Let's start with a few pictures of a beautiful female bronze hopper. This species is quite widespread in the eastern and southern parts of Australia and usually found on foliage in most areas. They particularly seem to like a Swiss cheese plant, on which I've spotted numerous specimens before. So far this season, I've only been able to capture females, so can't wait to grab some new images of males in the near future with my current setup. The Latin name of this species means threatening, which refers to the fearless and threatening behavior of the male when approached. I've had this particular species jump onto my lens so many times when I got too close. What's really interesting about this jumping spider is that the males are considerably larger than females, which is unusual for spiders, and the pre-mating courtship dance can last even up to 3 hours, so those males can be quite persistent. Our next subject, of which I only managed to grab this side portrait, is a garden jumping spider. This one was a rather large male with beautiful body coloration and distinctive patterns on his abdomen, and also had highly reflective metallic chelicerae. They are usually found hunting on bored green leaves during the day, and most of them are quite inquisitive when you approach them and raise their head and stare at you with their large eyes. The following image is of an interesting looking orange-brown colored fly, which was resting on a leaf of our Swiss cheese plant as well. I haven't found much information on this particular species, but when it was cleaning its fully extended proboscis, it looked quite alien-like. These next few shots are of a grey house spider, which I actually found on the wall in our laundry. I placed it into a plastic container and took it outside and left it on the Feijoa tree. This species resides almost exclusively in the somewhat artificial environments that are produced as a result of human inhabitancy, and not in the wild habitats such as natural forests. It's a solitary spider, and females usually stay in the same web for their entire life. They build their webs in undisturbed places where they patiently wait for the unsuspecting victim to be trapped by the sticky webs. Their diet mainly consists of flies, but they are also known to feed on wasps, bees, and even bumblebees and cicadas. Their venom is quite potent, and their bite can cause ulceration, local swelling, and nausea, but they are not aggressive, and bites occur only very rarely. Parasitic wasps pose a threat to this species, and you might want to check out the video in which I captured one being dragged away and even flown by a wasp much smaller in stature. Our next subject is a moth fly. I haven't been able to identify the exact species yet. It was quite small, only about 2 centimeters in length, and in this stacked image, which contains 2 individual shots, you can see the beautiful segmented antennae and the iridescent colors of its wings and setae. This subfamily is also known as drainflies, and they have a wide distribution across our planet and even occur in caves. They prefer damp habitats and feed on plant sap and nectar. The next couple of shots are of rainbow ants. If you want to learn about this particular species in detail and about an awesome example for myrmecophily, I've got you covered. I will leave a link in the description to that video as well. Rainbow ants are one of the most ecologically dominant group of ants in Australia, and one really cool fact about them is that farmers in rural Australia use them to dispose of animal carcasses by placing them on the mounds of meat ants, which can reduce a carcass to bones in a matter of weeks. In this first shot, you can see that it was carrying most likely dead organic matter, detritus, that they might use for building purposes, and in the second image, when I fully zoomed in, I noticed what most likely was a very small lacewing larva, which it was firmly holding with its jaws. I have amazing footage of a much larger predatory lacewing larva feeding on an aphid in an educational video of mine, to which I will leave a link in the description too. I think you will find that fascinating. Our very last series is of a long-legged fly that belongs to the genus Oreogeton. I haven't found much information on the genus, unfortunately. I really love those huge compound eyes and the extremely long legs. I was actually quite surprised that I managed to get this close, because most long-legged flies are extremely skittish and fly away as soon as you get close, and also the moment the flash goes off, they just disappear. These images were taken on 2 different occasions of different specimens, and I was fortunate to be able to capture them from different angles. I've still got several images to discuss. I've got some really good ones coming up, so I decided to break this video up into 2 parts. So keep an eye out for the second episode if you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and see you all very soon in the next one.